Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lattes on My Mind. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Felina. What are we going to be talking about today, Hannah?
We're going to be talking about Halloween, specifically some of the history of Halloween. Halloween.
This is Halloween.
This is Halloween.
Halloween. Anyways, grab those lattes and join us for the journey. Hannah,
We don't have lattes, though.
we do not have lattes. This is our first. No, it's not our first.
But this late.
It's our first really late episode. We are recording this at almost 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On a Friday, no less. We're really partiers. We party hardy.
Yeah. I am having a long weekend for like my anniversary, so
Yeah.
we were like, let's get this done with.
Yeah,
So
let's just do it. Get it over
well, originally we were supposed to go somewhere, and Wes and I are horrible at planning.
with. So they're not going anywhere.
And also because our dog kind of spent a lot of money on her own going to the vet.
Yeah.
She spent the money.
She needs to make, I'm telling you, start that TikTok.
I know.
The people want it.
I know, they do. Do you guys want to see my two German Shepherds
On TikTok?
on TikTok?
They do. I answered for them.
I
They
know.
do.
So Felina, how did you celebrate Halloween growing up?
No. Well, okay. Sort of. But no.
Right.
Short answer, no. Long answer. There was like this like downtown, like in the town that I grew up, it was like it was basically like trunk or treating, but
Right.
like for shops.
Yeah.
Like
we did some
everybody
of
would
that.
like dress up and like it's a Christian
Yeah.
town. So it was like just little kids, running
Right.
around and getting candy and
Right.
yeah, that's basically what we did. That's the extent of
Mm-hmm.
it. We did not go to like Halloween parties or anything like that. I think we did one Halloween party that my friend was doing,
Yeah.
and that was like it.
Yeah. We kind of did like some fall festival stuff and like some church
Mm-hmm.
events.
Yeah, we
as
did fall
well.
festivals in like Indiana
Yeah.
because that's where all my family
Yeah.
is. So
But other than that, like I have, yeah, just like we just didn't celebrate it really. So,
Yeah.
but
I went trick or treating once.
I've never been.
Me and my brother went, and it was super late. It was after the like Main Street Festival thing.
Right.
And my dad took pity on us one time, and it was like gonna be our last time, like where it was socially acceptable to be trick or treating.
Like, who is this person?
Yeah.
That's
Because you see teenagers,
A full
and you're like,
grown,
okay, so it was like the last time it would be like socially acceptable for us to be out, and he took us to a family friend's house, and we picked up candy from them, and then we like begged him to let us go somewhere else. So then we went other places, and then we went to one house. We went around our neighborhood just
Right.
a little bit, the places who still had like candy and their lights were still on, whatever.
yeah.
Because again, it was kind of like later for the trick or treating game. It wasn't like late, but it was later for the trick or treating game. And it was a creepy house, and the person was really weird, and I was really uncomfy. And I was like, I think I'm ready to call it a night.
We're good. Yeah, we used to live like out like in the country.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have trick or treaters even.
Yeah.
But one night it was Halloween and we were having a bonfire because what
what?
kind of
Yeah.
did, we didn't celebrate it, but we like did some things. And this
make it
kid, their parents send this kid down this long driveway while we're having a bonfire back there. I mean, you don't know what kind of people we are.
Right.
And we didn't really have like candy. And I think my mom, if you remember this, tell me if I'm wrong. I think she ended up giving him like, we had like Hershey dark chocolate nuggets. I think they might have had almonds or
the
something.
mom totally stole that one.
Right. So she was like, here you go. I'm like, do you know that kid was probably so disappointed? He walked all that
he
way
wanted
out
a
there.
Twix, dude.
Bro, like we were like, oh, give him this. I don't know. It was funny. But yeah, that's about my Halloween.
Yeah, we never handed out candy either, though.
Yeah, we didn't need it. Well, there
You
no
lived
one
in the
came
country.
out there.
We lived in a neighborhood,
Right.
in a town,
So you just said nope.
and we just didn't hand out candy.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Because originally they weren't doing that. You know what they were doing?
What were they doing? Nice segue. I see you. I see you. What were they doing?
Burning. No, just kidding.
Oh, no.
No, burning animal sacrifices. Well, okay.
Actually?
So, there were some, but
Oh.
so
Who are they sacrificing to?
Irish deities. So it's like to the gods.
So not even the devil.
So not the devil. So that's where we're going to start. Not the devil.
It's not the
necessarily.
devil's birthday.
It's not the
everybody.
devil's birthday. There is debate, obviously, as we have talked about in the past, about the origins of Halloween. Like, did it actually come from this festival or did it come from something else? So there's lots of.
There's a festival involved?
It's called Samhain or Samhain. Samhain?
Sure.
It looks like Sam Hain. Like, that's how it's spelled.
Oh, that's
But
confusing.
the Irish word is Samhain. And it's a
Okay.
it's essentially a Druid festival. And it was celebrated by the Celts. I'm going to call them Celts. Some people pronounce it differently. This is how I say it. But they lived about 2,000-ish years ago, okay?
Okay.
So a long time ago, it's an old Celtic festival. And most people consider it like the start of Halloween. But like some people are like, no, this is not. This is a whole different thing from this. But essentially this festival was what the Celts used to celebrate like the end of harvest and going into the winter months.
That makes sense.
Right. So they celebrated it on the evening of October 31st into like November 1st because November 1st.
So it was like a whole month long, or no,
it was
a
just
whole day. Like
it was like a whole day event because it was like their new year essentially. Like November 1st was their new year. They considered it.
oh,
So like
interesting.
yeah, because like it was the end of harvest and it was going into the cold months. So essentially like for them it was, you know, the winter. Like this is the time where people die. Like this is
Ooh,
you know, like this is considered them like they're going into the season of death essentially. So for them it was like
which winter is actually known as the season of death.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, especially then too, like cold, I'm assuming cold, sickness, lack of food,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So they assumed that on this night, the veil or whatever it is, whatever keeps back the dead from
Okay.
entering into the world of the living, like it grew especially thin, like the curtain grew thin between.
Like the Day of the Dead, like
Right.
tradition, and
Yeah.
is it Mexico?
Yes, in
Okay.
Mexico. But this one's more sinister. Like it was more like the ghosts would come and like walk on the earth because the veil grew thin. And so they would have this so that they would appease them so they wouldn't come and like wreak havoc and like destroy crops and things.
Right, because there weren't many left.
Yeah. They would, like I said, they would have animal sacrifices and bonfires, but it was like to the Irish deities. It wasn't like we're gonna like, you know, it wasn't to the devil.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
to
that's the
their gods.
Yeah, I think that's the misconception. Like, yes, there were ghosts, and that's what they were worried about, like the ghosts coming.
So they would
and, like,
sacrifice these things
yeah.
to their gods so that
Right.
the ghosts, so that the gods would protect.
Right.
Yeah.
Not saying animal sacrifices, right? But like it, you know, I think there's
What
like
kind of animals?
I don't know. I didn't say.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
assuming. I don't know. Like maybe like you know how in the
sheep
Bible they
and,
did
like,
sheep.
pigs, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Probably sheep. I think there's lots of sheep in
Yeah,
Ireland.
I feel like there is. I feel like that's
Maybe
a thing.
deer. I don't know. I don't know why deer because I
Are there
they
deer
also,
in Ireland?
I don't know. I think so. Because there's like the antlers and things a lot. I feel like in that culture as well, like for like deer and
True.
things like that. So I also think that because they would wear like animal skins
Ew.
and like masks, like yeah, as like
Ugh.
costumes. I think there's some debate like they would wear them so that like the ghosts would think they were also spirits and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true. That might have been later on, but that's like the precursor of some people think like that's where like some of the costume like came from.
Idea comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would
Um,
make sense, I guess.
But anyway,
That's weird.
Yeah.
It
It's
couldn't be
not-
me.
it's not like a fun festival, but it's also not like demons and devil. It's like what they thought would be like to their gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of what they would do. And then they would take the fire from the bonfire and they would take, I guess everyone would take one from like a stick or whatever and like light it and then
Like a
take
torch
it, yeah,
almost.
and then take it home and light
To
their
protect.
fires. Yeah, to protect for the coming months.
What would they do if the fire went out?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't think it would have like burned forever. It wasn't like that. It was just like we put our fires out and then we go celebrate. And then from that bonfire, we take it and light it, I guess, for the night or whatever.
Okay, it's like the holy fire.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Cool.
So that's the That's the Celtic version that everyone considers like the pagan holiday.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is pagan because it's not considered like a Christianized thing.
Well,
However,
they weren't sacrificing to God. They were
No.
sacrificing to
their own gods.
their gods.
Right.
Yeah.
But not to the devil necessarily. And that's what I used to think it was. Like, oh,
That's what I grew up being told.
Yeah,
was
that it was to the devil.
the devil's birthday or the devil's holiday or
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know about the devil's birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows when the devil's birthday is? Anyway, so this later did mix with Christianity. And this is where it kind of like,
Oh.
so I think the missionaries came to Ireland and they brought with them something called, I keep getting it confused, but I think it's All Saints Day or All Souls Day.
Yeah. I've heard, I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but I've heard it before.
Right. So it's confusing. So this is the history of this. I think because it was around the same time of year, they didn't necessarily be like, oh, we're going to take this and make it our holiday. That's not how it went. It was like we had All Souls Day and we had All Saints Day. And then because it was around like the exact same time of year, like some of the traditions like leaked over into each other.
Mingled in.
It wasn't like it was the same holiday. But so the night before All Saints Day, which All Saints Day is November 1st. Okay?
Okay. Yeah,
All
that is really
Souls-
close.
Yes. And then there's All Souls Day and All Hallows Eve. So let me talk first about All Saints Day. So originally there was a day called All Martyrs Day. Okay. That was established in like 609 AD
Oh.
by Pope Boniface. Boniface?
What?
Boniface?
Boniface?
Boniface. It looks like Boniface.
Boniface.
Anyway,
You got a bunny face.
so
No. Okay.
sorry. Well, it was a Scottish
See?
name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get all these dates right, and this was supposed to be a more casual one, guys, and I made it complicated like I do everything.
Hannah, come on now.
So he made it All Martyrs Day, which was essentially the Pantheon in Rome. He like dedicated to the martyrs. So that was, but that was in May.
I'm sorry. Hold on. What is the Pantheon?
It is a building, I think, that is like a temple dedicated to the gods. Maybe. But he took that and dedicated it to martyrs instead.
Oh.
I could be wrong.
That's awkward.
But I think the Roman Pantheon is like to the gods.
That's really awkward. That's
I guess he said, never mind.
uncomfy. Okay. All right. Cool.
So he dedicates it to martyrs instead. But this was on May 13th. So this
day is on May 13th.
This day was. And then next guy, Pope Gregory III, was like, I'm going to take this day. I'm going to rename it All Saints Day. And I'm going to move it to November 1st. Because he like dedicated one of the like basilicas to the saints. So he decides, I'm going to rebrand it.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah. He's going to rebrand it. So he takes that day and then makes it into All Saints Day. And then another guy.
This holiday is getting crazy.
It is.
Hang on. Okay.
So, yes, I was so confused. I kept being like, which one's All Saints Day, which one's All Souls Day, and which one is Halloween?
Okay, so Halloween
is October 31st.
Well, yeah. And that is the day that the Irish would, or not Irish,
Yes.
but Celtic
Yeah.
people would sacrifice to their gods.
Yes.
For the ghosty boys.
And that would leak over onto the 1st.
Why did they think that?
What?
That the veil was thin on that day?
I'm
asking the tough questions.
It was mostly because winter was
Right, because
coming.
winter is coming.
And death was coming in association with that. So they would, and because their harvest was done and they were going into the new year, they just, I don't know. That's like why.
That's where I'm getting confused. So harvest ending equals ghosts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right,
It's
moving
not
on.
just that the harvest equals ghosts. It's because it's getting cold and people are dying.
People are going to
So
start dying.
That's when the ghosts come back and roam Earth.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what they said. That's what they believed.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, so Halloween, October 31st, Celtic.
Yes.
And then there's All Saints Day, which was November 1st. Was
It
All Martyrs Day, the Martyr Day?
Yes. So that got turned into All Saints Day.
Which was in May, but got turned into All Saints Day.
Yeah.
Have
Isn't that
we
confusing?
touched on the Souls Day yet?
No.
Okay. That's where I was getting confused. I was like, wait, is the Martyr Day the Soul Day? And then it moved, and now it's okay. So
this All Souls Day is November 2nd. So it's a 3-day thing.
Oh gosh.
So essentially, the guy took All Martyrs Day, made it All Saints Day. And then they're like, you know what? All Saints Day, we need All Souls Day for all people dead, not just saints. So then that's why it's November 2nd is All Souls Day.
Because the saints come first.
Yes. You honor all the saints and then you honor all the dead. Now, the reason why it's called Halloween is because because All Saints Day was on November 1st, which was also known as All Hallows Day because Hallows is holy. They named that Hallows Eve.
And it turned into Halloween.
Yes. We got there. It's confusing, but we got there. So in that time, Hallowtide was known as those 3 days because it was like a 3-day celebration of All Hallows Eve.
Is this
All
just
Saints Day.
in Ireland?
I think it's also... That's a good question.
Again, the tough questions.
It is the tough questions.
That's what I'm here to provide.
It's in Ireland, and like I think it's like the UK. Like, you know, there were parts of Scotland,
like it was spreading a little bit.
parts of England.
Okay, cool.
That would like consider these holidays because it was like the Catholic Church took this on too.
So then, how did we? Okay, well that explains how it spread there, but how did it spread everywhere?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Although it mostly spread to America, like every other culture, I was trying to look into it. Every other culture kind of has their own Halloween. It's not like the same.
Well, if you think about it, though, like America is a hodgepodge of all these other cultures.
Yeah,
so it
exactly.
makes sense that like Halloween has turned into what it is today.
Right. I'll talk about how it got over to America in just a little bit. But how it became one word, Halloween, is because from the Scottish hallow and een. So hallow means saint or holy person, and een means evening. So they called it Halloween, like Hallow Evening, and then the poet Robert Burns combined the two in a poem he wrote in 1786, and that was the first time it was one word, Halloween.
And then it just took off.
So it essentially means holy evening, which I think is so funny because everyone's like, wait, Halloween is so evil, and it literally means holy evening.
Hey, Mom,
why aren't we celebrating?
Mom, I could have celebrated Halloween. You lied to me.
You lied. All right, so
sorry, that one tickled me because I was told it's the devil's holiday.
Right.
It literally means holy evening.
And like I said, like if it's actually just from like All Souls Day and All Saints Day, it was actually like a Christian holiday. But if you're talking about, it's actually from
the sacrifice,
Samhain or whatever it's called.
So how did the witches get involved here?
How did the witches get involved? That's a good question.
There's got to be something about Halloween and October 31st and like something, because the witches did get involved. At some point, the witches were like, this is our holiday too now. You know?
I didn't really go over that.
That's okay.
Which is like,
hey, if you know that, you can let us know.
Right. Because I did witches already, and I was kind of like all over the place with this one because I kind of wanted to see how it like got over
Played
here.
out, yeah.
And like how other traditions started. But
and that's A-okay.
Right. But if you know how witches got involved, let us know.
Yeah. Is there something to, if there's actually something to like the actual day? Because it seems like a lot of things happen. Like a lot of things are going on. 3 holidays in a row, right? In this like little area. Like that's pretty bizarre.
Well, I'm sure that the witches got involved because they also believed that like the veil was thin and it was
probably
like they could
most
communicate
likely
with the dead.
Yeah, but is the veil actually thin? That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying.
Is it? I wouldn't know. I haven't seen no dead people walking around, nor do I want to.
I don't think I want to either.
So anyway,
sorry.
it's okay. But this whole holiday, Christianity got mixed with it. The Celtic traditions got mixed with it. And then when the Romans, I'm sorry guys, it's like 8 o'clock
Again,
at night.
It's 8 p.m.
Rome conquered the Celts in 43 AD. Okay. And they also had a holiday that celebrated the passing of the dead. And that was called Feralia?
Okay.
Or something?
Less spooky.
Yeah. So they like, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of cultures had like, we're going to celebrate the passing of the dead, which is like what Mexico does too. They honor those who have passed on, and they'll leave like, you know, gifts at their graves and things like that.
Okay. So this was not necessarily a
No.
the dead are coming to kill our crops. This was a we're going to honor our dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know, because they also had a festival right near it that celebrated the goddess of fruit and trees named Pomona, and her symbol is like the apple. So the apple
Weird.
carried on in a lot of Halloween traditions that we'll see later on as well, like bobbing for apples. So like that's how, like, because the
Are you
Roman,
telling me bobbing for apples comes from the Roman goddess
yeah, like that
Pumbaa?
Pumbaa. Like, yeah, like, so that tradition where like apples were such a big thing, and that festival carried on into Halloween and like caused like other like bobbing for apples. And we'll talk about another little game that they played later on that I thought was funny, with apples involved. And that's why also I think like candy apples and things like that.
Yeah,
like later
caramel
on.
apples.
Yeah.
All of those.
So all the
Ooh.
apples. I mean, yes, it's a fall fruit as well, I think, isn't it? I would assume. Or does it grow in the fall or does it grow in the summer?
I feel like it grows in the summer and into the
Oh.
fall.
Huh. Okay.
But I mean, it's around in the fall,
Right,
obviously,
because
but I
apple
feel like it
orchards
does.
and-
I feel like it grows into the summer because I
Yeah.
feel like when apple orchards aren't in season, they're growing apples.
They are. That's what they're doing. And then the fall, we just do it because Pumbaa
Because
said.
Pumbaa told us to. I don't know. I'm not a farmer. Listen, we started a garden and it was an experiment. And we said, so don't plant tomatoes and cucumbers next to each other ever again.
Because?
and we're not going to grow okra because they grow too fast and we can't keep up with them. So don't take my farming advice, basically.
I'm even worse than you. I can't grow one thing. I killed a succulent.
I've killed 3 cacti. 3.
Okay, see, we're on the
3
same
of them.
page here. I've killed several succulents. I've had like 3 succulents.
I've killed a lot of succulents.
Poor babies.
I've
I
had
love
a lot
them.
more than 3 though. Do you see a succulent in my house?
No.
No.
No, I do not. I don't.
Anyways, sorry.
Anyways, so in America, we did have some early on kind of like Halloween trying to like start its way, but the Puritans did not like it. They didn't like
Naturally.
Halloween because it had pagan connotations. You know, it's from the Irish festival.
This is our second thing with pagans.
know.
What the world?
Pagans, Puritans.
We're really
and
pulling everything
Druids.
into here.
I need to
What?
do one on them specifically, apparently. I mean, I did kind of do about Puritans when we talked about Salem, but not like one just about them.
Yeah.
But it was kind of starting to be celebrated in Maryland and like the southern colonies. They kind of like picked up some traditions, but it was more like a fall festival type thing. But they would like,
I love those.
yeah, they would tell like ghost stories and like dance and sing and that sort of thing. So it wasn't really about Halloween yet. What really got it over here was when the Irish and Scottish people came over
Started coming over
because of the
they migrated
potato famine
Ah,
Ireland?
Yes, the potatoes
and things like that. Yeah, it brought a lot of people over, I think, in like the 1800s. Over
Can
to
I just
America.
say
Go ahead.
again the 1800s of it all?
It really is true. But because that was such a big thing in their culture, because like they're the originator of it, the Irish people, because of Samhain and all that.
Yeah.
And then also Old Souls Day. I just made a new one.
Old Souls.
Old
That is the day where we celebrate Hannah and people of her age.
Yes, it is true. We need a holiday. We're struggling. It's 8 p.m.
It's 8 p.m. on a Friday night and I want to go to bed.
I actually probably would take a nap and then stay up to like 4 a.m. That's what's
she's
wrong.
crazy.
Anyway, so they're like the originators of it. So it becomes more popular when they come over here. And then it kind of starts with them and then it gains momentum in the 1900s because America says, we can commercialize this and we can start making
Freaking
costumes.
America.
And we can
Of
start,
course they did.
Yeah, selling costumes and we can sell
Ew.
decorations. And I think they said like postcards or
Way
whatever
to
they are.
ruin a wonderful holiday, a very holy evening of a holiday.
Because I think before this, they would like make their costumes out of like, sheets and things like that.
Which is
And
even better.
It is. We should
It's
all
more
make.
creative. See, again, America, why you gotta ruin a good thing?
I don't know.
Why you gotta...
They're
why?
going to commercialize it.
Why?
They're going to.
So wait, okay, so it's a mostly American holiday.
Yeah.
So does like people in England celebrate Halloween?
No, I mean, in the UK and things, I think they do, like in Ireland and stuff, because it's really big there. But most other
So
cultures.
then how did America's Halloween... Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry. How did America's Halloween get back over to Ireland and like...
I don't know.
Britain
I
and
don't
all
know
that?
if it actually is over there or if they have their own thing. Well, they probably celebrate it still on October
So-
31st because I mean that's when Samhain was.
But like trick or treat, is that a thing?
Trick or treating. See, that's the thing is like I was like trying to look up what other people did, and it was all like they have their own version of like their honoring of the dead, and they have this version. I'm like, okay, but
what
who celebrates?
do they trick or treat?
I think in Mexico they do. The kids trick or treat, and then they
fun.
celebrate the
So
Day
how
of the
did they
Dead.
get there? No, because that's not the Day of the Dead.
Well, no, but November 1st is.
November 1st is the Day of the Dead.
I believe so.
I thought it was in like the
Dia de
springtime.
Muertes, or I'm sorry, I just butchered that. The Day of the Dead. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Hey
but
Siri, when is the Day of the Dead? Hold. Oh, November 2nd is the Day of the Dead.
Okay. So I think they have a 3-day celebration as well, and I couldn't remember if it was the 1st or the 2nd. I don't really know a lot about it. I just know that that was like the one thing I read, like where someone else was doing trick or treating was in Mexico.
So that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but like,
I think they do it in England.
do they not trick or treat? That makes Halloween so much more lame.
They might. I didn't like look up specifically. I was trying to see like how people celebrated Halloween around the world, and like I didn't come up with a lot. They're like, oh, in Japan they party, like they'll do like clubs and things.
Party hardy.
And then there was one like I was like South Korea does like a festival, but like a lot of them were like, oh, they have their own version of the Day of the Dead, and it's
Cool.
like this day and it's this day, and I was like, okay,
yeah, but like
that's
what?
not...
What do they do?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, Google.
There was one place that had like a kite thing that they flew kites for their loved ones.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. But anyway, so now, after it started becoming popular, in 1930, vandalism peaked on Halloween. It became like a thing to like do tricks and things, but they would be like busting lamps and like, tearing things down.
That's
and
so rude.
So in 1933, the Halloween that happened there was actually named Black Halloween.
It was the Great Depression. I
That's true.
mean,
That's also true.
it was the Great Depression. Everybody was mad.
Yeah.
I get that, actually.
And apparently
honestly.
it was so bad, they named it Black Halloween, and they almost like banned the holiday because people were like taking this so seriously and like carrying the trick thing way too far. And so, but then they were like, there's this Canadian tradition. So, okay, maybe Canada does trick or treating. I don't know.
Canada trick or treats?
Well, no, but Canada.
Ryan Reynolds, did you go trick or treating as a child or no?
Let us know.
Please tell me.
So, but they almost banned it, but then they adopted the Canadian tradition where apparently if you give the kids treats, they won't play tricks or pranks. So that's
and the kids listen to that?
Apparently they're like, I'm going to trick you if you don't give me some whatever, candy.
Give me a treat. And the people used to like do homemade treats. They used to put cookies in like a baggie or like whatever. But then sometimes they had razor blades in them.
Yeah. That's
what
why
I was told. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was told that.
I don't know if it's true, but I did read something that they began to worry about because they would hand out like toys, nuts, and coins and things like that originally. They wouldn't hand out just candy. It was like other things. But I think it's in the 1950s. I can just go ahead and say this. Like in the 1950s is when like companies began individually wrapping candy.
Oh.
And so
for Halloween specifically?
I think it was kind of like that's when trick-or-treating boomed because they did that.
Because
so
they
it was
did
probably
that. Okay.
because like they were like, we need to start doing this. And then somewhere, I think it was like a few years after, they were like, we don't want our kids to like get anything if it's not packaged anymore. So I don't know if that's like when the whole like
that's smart
razor blade thing
parents
happened.
For the 50s, that was smart of you.
Maybe we should Google at the end, did the razor blade thing ever actually happen, or was that just
Yes.
something
were
that
there
like
actually razor blades in children's?
Right, or were adults like, I'm just scared you're gonna
Paranoid.
have something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would have let my kids take anything homemade from anyone. Like if I had kids, I'd be like, no.
Hannah has an issue with homemade things.
I do. If someone offers me food, I get a little.
She's a little sussed out.
I'm a
by
it.
OCD.
We know this.
And
we
I
know
feel
this.
like a little,
a lot of OCD.
Sorry.
A lot of OCD.
I feel as though it's justified to be a little sketched out because some people, you just don't know what they did in their kitchen. Not that it's anything wrong, but it's
what I'm
like,
saying, you don't know
did they really wash their hands after they
Right.
cracked that egg, or did they just keep
Yeah.
going?
Did they touch raw chicken and then didn't just got it everywhere? Like,
did they put raw chicken on their counter and then they decided to make this sweet little treat and then they put it there and then salmonella?
Yeah, I just don't trust people. I guess it's a bad thing. Let's talk about the possible origins of trick or treating. Which, why isn't it called treat or tricking? I want to treat, or I am going to trick
because the reason they were doing it was because they were tricking everybody. They were vandalizing things.
But wouldn't it be like treat or you're going to get a trick? Like, doesn't that make more sense?
I think it's more of like, we're going to trick you or you can give us a treat.
I guess.
You know, like that type
treat
of thing.
Treat or tricking. I'm going to make my own thing. So there were like 3 different things that have been proposed for like, this might be the origin of trick or treating. Like, the actual,
of the act of going to people's houses and expecting
candy. Yeah. So there was this thing called souling, because All Souls Day, November 2nd. Yes, exactly. So in England, they would go to door, and they would be like, "We want a soul cake," which was like, I guess, kind of like a biscuit. I don't know if they mean. I guess that means like a cookie, because
I'm gonna make a soul cake
or a biscuit. Yeah. So
and it's just gonna be biscuits, and it's gonna be called soul food.
Let's do it. Soul food. We're just giving people gravy biscuits.
Yeah, biscuits and gravy.
It's like, here you go. It's soul cakes. But essentially, like, it was a lot for like the poor people would go and ask for these in return for praying for the people in purgatory, for the people that they were like getting the food from. So it was like, oh, if you pray for my dead relatives in purgatory, here's a soul cake, essentially.
Oh, so, yeah. So there were stipulations.
Yeah.
But it was like, so I want a soul cake. And then it was like, okay, but you have to pray.
Yeah, you had to pray for the souls in purgatory, which I guess that's why on All Souls Day, which is November 2nd.
Pray for my aunt. Well, all I can think of is my aunt's name, and none of them are dead.
Right.
So I want to like wish death upon them.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Pray for my aunt Susan. We'll say.
I
don't think I have a Susan.
Then there's also this thing called Scottish guising, like a guise, like disguise or something, but guising.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what that word means. I was like, huh?
Like, what is guising? It's taken from souling, but it's like the heathen version, like the secularized version of that. Like, they didn't do prayers. They were like, we're gonna trick you and we're gonna play pranks on you. But you had to give us, I don't know if they took away. I don't know if they were also asking for. I'm assuming it's still like the soul cake thing or like the food.
It's like
they're still like,
woohoo! Yeah, but, you give me a treat, okay, I'll stop. You know, like that
exactly.
type of a thing.
And it was also thought like the Irish and Scottish like troublemakers of the time would dress in scary costumes to like try to scare the neighbors during it as well.
Animal skins?
I hope not animal skins. That was way back.
That's whack.
That was like 2,000 years ago.
That's like actually my jaw was like,
disgusting. But anyway, they would try to freak out the neighbors and things like that. So they took something that was like religious and they secularized it. So souling was, I'm going to pray for you. And this one was, we're going to trick you. Instead, we're going to trick you.
Yeah.
And then it's also thought, but this is a Christmas tradition, but I think maybe it was taken from this to Halloween.
Okay, wait. The we're going to trick you. Was it the people handing food out tricking?
No, it was the people who
I just wanted to make sure I got that right.
Who wanted the food.
Okay.
Were tricking.
Okay.
Which I don't know why you would. I guess like it's the same concept, like, oh, if you give us food, we won't trick you, maybe. But they didn't say. They just replaced the prayers with tricks. That's all I know. Cute. Now, this one is a Christmas tradition. It's a German-American Christmas tradition or custom called Belsnickling, which I love that name.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know why it's called that.
Belsnickling?
Belsnickling.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Whoa. Who came up with that?
It must be a German word. I don't know.
Probably.
It probably means something else.
With that.
Anyway, this one was like the kids would, it was like a Christmas tradition where the kids would like go do plays for the neighbors, like from door to door. And then,
cute.
Are you okay?
Yeah. That's creepy.
And then they would also like dress in costume, like in disguises. And they would be like, if you can't guess who I am, which kid I am from the neighborhood or whatever, like you had to try to guess who they were. And if not, if you couldn't guess, then they would get a treat. So if they tricked you.
So you had to work. You had to work for it.
You had to work real hard and then you also had to give them a treat.
You couldn't just hand out. You couldn't just set out a bowl and say take one, and then watch a kid take all of it.
Right.
And then get your bowl. And
like this was a whole thing. Like you had to like invest in who is this kid, which one is he, and then I would just be like, oh, Tom, and then be like, here's your thing, because I know it's not Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, and then just hand them a cake, or I don't know what they gave him.
You know there was people
Yeah.
guessing wrong on purpose. What if there was a kid who was so well known and everybody just guessed him and he never got any treats?
Oh, that'd be
That's
sad.
so
It's like Charlie Brown.
sad.
It's Charlie Brown.
I just made myself depressed.
I got a rock.
I got a rock.
That's
Poor
sad.
buddy.
So,
Anyways, we're not
Anyway.
gonna think about that.
but I already mentioned this, but candy became the go-to because in the 1950s they were packaging candy. So they're like,
Yes.
oh, this is just easy to hand out.
Yeah, I don't need
So-
to make anything. Nobody's gonna
Right.
take it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, this was just I'm going into like some really random stuff, by the way.
Beautiful.
Candy
That's what
corn.
I love. That's where I thrive. I thrive. Candy corn.
Candy corn. I included this because we had
Controversial.
a talk about it yesterday. I think it's disgusting.
I think it's delicious.
So, but then she said, "Oh, if you mix it with peanuts," and I said, "Okay, so you had to mix it with something to even like it."
No, I like it regardless.
It's wax. Tastes like wax.
You know what tastes like wax?
I don't what?
Crayons.
Well, yeah. Have you,
You know
been
what
eating
doesn't
them?
taste like crayons?
Candy corn does. I bet.
No, it doesn't.
But if you bit a crayon, and then bit,
No, candy corn is soft and chewy. It's delicious.
let us know. Do you
Again.
like candy corn?
Also, if you've never mixed your candy corn with peanuts, you should do it. It tastes like a payday.
But in my defense, okay, candy corn was thought to be made in the 1880s, possibly, and then popularized in 1898. And it was originally not just a Halloween candy; it was a fall candy, and it
Oh.
was originally called chicken feed. So you're telling me something called chicken feed is delicious?
Yes.
And their slogan was something worth crowing for.
And I love it even more. I'm going to print it and make it. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt. You know what? We're going to have lattes on my mind merch and we're going to say something worth crowing for. And
Chicken
it's going to
feed.
be a little candy corn and he's going to be wearing a ghosty outfit.
That'd be cute.
You're welcome.
That'd be cute. I think that it should still be called that.
Trademarked it. Don't
Chicken
steal my
feed.
idea.
Yeah, trademarked right now.
But it's not chicken feed. It's like corn. What was
I
the
don't
one
know
thing
why-
that you were saying in the office the other day? Because you told me something about candy corn that started this debate. And I was like, really?
I think it was the picture in this article that I was looking at, and it was like how many cents or something per pound.
Oh yeah, it was like
23 cents.
Yeah,
or
20 something
something.
cents a pound of candy corn, and I said a dream.
Right, and I was like, "What? It's disgusting."
Yeah,
And then
Marshall
that's when we
doesn't like
got-
candy corn either.
See, me and Marshall, we know.
But
We
me
know.
and my mom and Katie all love candy corn.
That's a lot of people liking candy corn.
With peanuts. And we're not the only ones. I just can't remember specifically in my family who else does. But we're not the only ones who like candy corn. It's
you
good.
know what's even worse too is like when they put the pumpkins in that are like the candy corn.
I love the pumpkins.
They're so big.
I will
It's
say
even
the pumpkins
worse.
are a little bit
They're overwhelming.
They are a little more overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because they're larger and there's more. They're not like flat. They're obviously they're pumpkins. So it's not like a flat pumpkin.
I think it's just so sweet. It's just like pure sugar.
Which is why you need to mix it with salty.
Well, I do agree that that's probably a lot better.
It's
I
like a
haven't actually
salty
done
and a
that.
sweet.
It's probably good that way.
It's okay. You know what? I'll bring candy corn and peanuts, and you can try it.
We'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Yes.
Anyway, also the black cat superstition,
Yeah.
which is like the one mentioned, is that it probably stems from the Middle Ages when they thought that witches would morph like into black cats like in disguise.
I thought they thought they were the familiars.
They thought that too. Like they thought that, and then they also thought
That they literally
they could be-
shapeshifted into them.
that was like during the Middle Ages, and then I think later on they thought a lot of the women had cats, and so they thought that it was like their familiars.
familiar.
So it's kind of
interesting.
I read both. So I was like,
Interesting.
I was like they would literally morph into them, and it was also thought that they were like black cats were like associated like a symbol of the devil, and I'm like, why? They're just
They're just kitty
cats. But I think it was
cats.
probably because the witches.
Probably because of the witches. Yeah, and the witches are worship the devil
Yeah.
apparently. Although witches, I could be wrong. I don't think all witches worship the devil. I think there's
I
different
don't think
types
so.
of witches.
I think there are. I mean, I know. I don't think modern witches.
Yeah,
I don't know what like.
but I think there's different types of witches.
I think there are too. I don't think that they're all just like worship the devil. I think they're more but there are, if you're like talking about like a witch, I think it's like the dark arts, isn't it? And magic.
Yeah,
and
but
things.
there's like something. There's so many things that like I've seen about witches. And it's like there's some things where it was like, oh, you can't like you know, in like TV shows where it's like, oh, you can't use that type of magic. If you use that type of magic, you're done for. You lose like your powers, or you're kicked out of the coven or whatever. It's like that type of thing. So I feel like there's like boundaries with witches.
There are. Yeah, you can't do the coven dirty.
No,
you can't do that.
Apparently, you can't make it look bad on the coven's behalf. Like, you can't do something that makes the coven look bad.
Right.
And if you do, you're excommunicated.
Right. Jack-o'-lanterns.
Beautiful.
Believed to have originated from a story in Ireland. Imagine, again.
Naturally.
The story of Stingy Jack is his name.
Oh, hello, Stingy Jack. Come join the party.
Apparently a drunkard and a mischief maker or trickster.
Don't trick us.
And he got the devil to let him keep his soul. So he tricked the devil into letting him keep his soul and said he wouldn't go to hell when he died. And then when he died, he found out that heaven don't want him neither. So,
okay.
So he is essentially this guy who's supposed to, like, his spirit has to journey on the earth because he was denied by both heaven and hell. And it said that the devil gave him a carved out turnip, I believe. It was a turnip with like a face, but it had like a coal in it. But that was like his light. They had turnips originally, okay?
So
okay?
we're out here carving pumpkins and they were carving turnips?
Yes, because apparently Irish and Scottish people, they didn't have pumpkins until they came to America. So then that's why when they started carving pumpkins instead of turnips.
You never had pumpkin pie before? Oh, that's so sad.
I don't know if I'm sure they have them now, but I guess that they were like a native, like, gourd or whatever they are to America. Or maybe just to, I don't know, like North American or South American, like.
Listen, I'm so sorry to all you people who had never experienced pumpkin pie.
Right. They used turnips. And so it was thought that because they were carving turnips from, like, because, like, they think it originated from this story. That's why they were carving turnips. Because Jack had this turnip that was given to him by the devil. It was thought that.
So why wait, hold on. I missed something. Why did we start carving them because of this?
Because the story of Jack carrying the turnip with the carved whatever
face. Yeah.
They would then carve turnips with faces to keep the evil spirits away.
Okay.
Which I don't understand. If Jack is a spirit and he has the turnip carved face, why would he be scared of it? I think it just inspired them to do that. But I'm like, so why does that keep spirits away?
Yeah, the math is not mathing.
It doesn't really.
I just feel like what you're saying, like if he has a carved turnip to light his path,
right?
Why carve turnips? You would think that would mean like it would be lighting
associate, with
path more.
Maybe they would think you're a spirit, like you have a carved.
Oh, maybe. I bet that's what it is.
That's probably why.
I bet that's it.
Because I was also confused. I was like, why would you do that to keep them away?
It would be like no, we're just here.
Yeah, because they did the same thing at some point when they would like wear masks or dress as like in costumes to like trick the spirits to think that they were also one. So maybe that's kind of like the same thing.
Maybe
Like,
it's the same.
We also have a turnip that was given to us by the devil. So we're in the circle or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
We're a homie.
You don't have to come in here because we're stuck too, you know?
Right.
Like, okay.
Okay, so now my last little tidbits here was not expecting to discover. Well, it's like a whole little section. So okay. I have a little bit, but this is like my last topic. Apparently courtship rituals used to be huge on Halloween. It was a big thing. And I don't know why. What do
you mean? What's a courtship ritual?
All right, we'll talk about it. Lots of superstitions, kind of like superstitions. But the first one isn't that exciting. It's just that a cook, I think this was in Ireland, would sometimes put a ring in the mashed potatoes they were making, which do not do. Don't put rings in food.
I feel like a if you're gonna put a ring in anything, mashed potatoes is your best bet because mashed potatoes are so soft
that you would
feel that something hard is in there, and you don't want to swallow it if you don't know what it is, so you're gonna take it out.
That's true. At least it's not like a burger where you're biting down on it.
A crunchy with like crunchy onions and lettuce and stuff on it.
I never understood why people did that, but in this time they did it because the lucky person who would find it. It was said that they were going to find their lover.
Their love of their life.
Yes. Aww. Now, there was another one. And this was all geared toward women. Mostly, of course. Like, oh, if you do this, like, next Halloween you'll be married or something like that. You know, it was like,
Holy cow.
yeah. So it was like, you know, by next
Whoa.
Halloween you'll be married. But there was one they had where they would take hazelnuts, and apparently they would like put the names of like potential men they were interested in or like
So their
suitors.
crushes, yeah.
They would like put them on, like write them on the hazelnuts or something, and then they would throw them into the fire. And if it popped, he wasn't like, if it popped or exploded, like he's a goner, like he's not yours.
He is not for you.
But if it just burns down into ashes, that was the one.
That's
but here's
your
the thing:
soulmate.
how you be seeing which name is burning down? Do you do one at a time? I guess.
I feel like,
I was
yeah.
thinking of like they just like threw the whole handful. I'm like, well, how would you know which one burned?
No, I feel like you would do one at a time.
That seems weird to me. I would think that if it burned down to ashes, that would be a bad sign.
Yeah.
But I guess the popping, I guess that's like,
was like
just kidding.
He's evil. He's
Yeah.
bad for you. Get away.
Anyway, so
Well, here's my thing too. Women can't do anything about it if they have a crush on him at this time, can they?
yeah, it's like 1800s probably.
Yeah. So like they
ish.
can't seek the man out, or they're a harlot.
Yeah. So they had to do
So
something.
why are they doing this?
Well, because then they can maybe drop a hint to Philip or Peter or whoever's.
Good old Gregory over there.
Right. Like, oh, my hazelnut had your name on it. It's like,
And it burned to ashes.
they just needed to know, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
That sounds like
Also-
witchcraft to me.
Yeah, and if on Halloween night, if you ate a treat made out of hazelnuts, walnuts, and nutmeg, you would have a dream of your future spouse. Yet again, what good does that do you? Like,
It doesn't. That
I-
also sounds like witchcraft.
yeah.
I'm sorry. It does.
Then there was another one. It was with apples. So Apple has returned.
Okay.
And so they would peel the apple in like one strand. You know how you do?
That makes me think
Like the
of
peel?
that one rom-com. What was it?
Rom-com?
Is this Sleepless in Seattle?
I don't know. I haven't
Where
seen it.
she's like on the phone and she like
Does the whole apple?
he's talking about how the kid's mom used to like peel the apple in like one
go.
strand, and then she's like on the phone talking about something and
Oh,
she's
wait,
peeling it in one
That
strand.
scene sounds familiar.
Yeah, and then she
I
goes,
haven't seen that.
horses.
What?
Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. And then she goes like that, and it's raining, and yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
she's in her car. She's driving.
Okay.
It's fine.
She's driving her car while she's peeling an apple?
No,
Oh.
in the other scene.
Oh, it's a different scene. I was like, why did she say horses, horses, horses?
Have you never seen?
No, I
Sleepless-
haven't.
Girl,
Are you sure that's the movie?
No.
Okay, because that's
I think it is
the
though.
apple scene sounds familiar.
I think it is.
I haven't
think
seen
it's
a lot
the
of
scene-
rom-coms in general.
because isn't Sleepless in Seattle with Tom Hanks?
I thought You Got Mail was with Tom Hanks.
I thought You Got Mail was.
That's the one I've seen.
I thought You've Got Mail was what's her name? Miss Congeniality, which you haven't seen. Crap. Okay.
And Tom Hanks. It's Miss Congeniality and
no,
Mr. Tom
it's got
Hanks.
the British guy in
No,
You've Got Mail.
Look it up. I know it's Tom Hanks.
No, that's the
You've
one
Got Mail
about
has Tom
2
Hanks.
days or something. Something.
No, it's Tom Hanks. I swear. Go ahead and Google it.
I'm Tom Hanks is in a lot of things.
Tom Hanks is, and he is very good.
He
But I did not
is.
like that movie.
It's Sleepless in Seattle has Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, and she peels the apple and the little boy. So that's what Sleepless
Well,
in
what about
Seattle
You've
is.
Got Mail?
You've Got Mail. I don't think You've Got Mail is Tom Hanks. I think that's someone else. Oh, okay. I forgot how to type for a second. I'm so sorry.
She's like panicking. This is such a sidetrack.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We're almost done.
You've Got Mail is the same cast as Meg Ryan and Tom
I told
Hanks.
you. I was like, I know Tom Hanks is in
It's
that.
also it's Greg.
Does she peel an apple?
Greg. No.
Does she also peel an apple?
No,
in
that's
that
the
one?
other one. That's the other one. It's Greg. I can't ever pronounce his last name. That's the guy I was thinking
Greg?
of. And then what's the one? Yeah, Tom Hanks is Sleepless in Seattle.
I haven't seen that one. I don't do a lot of rom-coms.
I did a lot more rom-coms when I was younger.
Right.
Because I watched it with my family. What's the one? What's her name? What is her name? Oh my gosh. Sorry. This is really going to absolutely drag
Please
me
hold.
crazy.
What are we talking about?
Sandra Bullock.
Oh.
Sandra Bullock. I thought You've Got Mail with Sandra Bullock is what I thought.
No.
What's the one about Sandra Bullock and the guy?
Proposal?
And they have the no.
That's funny though.
That is a funny
I
one.
have seen that one.
No, it's older. It's Sandra Bullock, I
Oh, I don't know.
believe, and then it's the guy, and then they share a house, and then they're like different timelines.
different timelines.
Yeah, like they had it was his house, and they were like writing letters to each other, I think, and then they would put it in the mailbox, and then she'd see she had a letter.
You've got mail too,
right? That's what I was like. That's why I thought it was You've Got Mail. I don't know. Anyways,
we'll find out at the end of this.
I'm gonna figure this out.
Anyway, about the apple peel.
So sorry.
So they would peel the whole apple and then they would toss it over their shoulder, and then the apple peel would fall and form the initial of your future husband.
I actually have heard that before.
You have?
Yes.
What? But did you know they did it on Halloween?
I didn't know. I didn't know that they did it on Halloween.
Now, another thing is, of course, bobbing for apples, as we've already talked about. And apparently in this one, I read both where the like women would do it, but then I read one where like the women would put their initials in the apple, and then the men would bob for them, and then they would get the initial of the woman they were supposed to
be with.
And then, originally though, before the bobbing, they would do, this sounds hard, they would hang them in midair from a string from their stems, and you would,
and then you would have
write,
to like
you would write your own initial on it. Okay, so you would write your own initial, you would hang it, and then you would go around and like try to bite the one of the person you like wanted to like talk to.
Yeah, but they were like up high.
Yes. I'm like, how would you do that? That seems really difficult.
It does.
And then now another one, which was really creepy, is you would go into a dark room with a candle and you would look in a mirror, and the face of your husband was supposed to appear like behind you in the mirror.
I look in a mirror in candlelight and a man appears behind me. I am throwing salt at that bitch and I'm running out of there. Sorry, everybody. I know I just said that, but that's okay.
No, I'd be gone.
I'm out of there.
But if you saw a skull instead, it means you would die before you got married. So I would just say don't do it.
I would be like, I don't want to see a skull. I'm not gonna
do it. And then my favorite one personally, which is what I'm going to end on, is that the women would steal cabbages. They would steal cabbages, I guess, from everyone's gardens because everyone just grew cabbages.
Okay.
They would steal a cabbage and they would place it over a doorway, like on the door, over a door, like position it. And then the first man that came through and it fell on would be your future husband.
Cute.
So...
Such a neat cute. Now you have a concussion. Here, let me help you with that.
Right? Let me show you.
By the way, we're in love. Didn't you know?
Apparently they, this is how we know about so many of these like superstitions, is there's like postcards from this time.
I love it.
And this one I thought was really funny. I think you should read it.
It says, it's, okay, let me just paint the picture. It's black and white. And it's a man and a woman leaning in for a little smoocheroonie.
Well, but the apple. Don't forget that.
Well, I'm getting to it.
Sorry.
I'm getting to it. They're leaning in for a little smoocheroonie. They're all decked out. It looks like kind of 1920s-ish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You
it's
know,
like,
era. Well, no, not even, because her dress is kind of long. Maybe a little before that.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe a little bit before that.
Tens or
and
something.
she has an... Well, okay, so at first I was like, she's wearing an apple earring, it looks like. But no, there's an apple dangling in front of them, and it looks like it's swinging back and forth, and it says Halloween. Opposite a maiden, sweet and fair, an apple swinging in the air. To bite it, we both try and miss. Am I to blame if I steal a kiss?
Yeah.
So romantic.
Yeah. If I miss in quotation marks.
So what was happening was they were swinging for these apples, and then the ladies would be standing there, and then they'd be like,
yeah, fun times. So that was my favorite of these postcards, just because I thought it was just so funny. There's the one with the man.
Oh, standing. Yeah, there's a man standing behind her at candlelight. That's creepy.
I don't like that.
I do. And it's not even standing behind her because she's not painted in the mirror. It's just like a woman standing in front of a mirror with candlelight, and then there's a man in the mirror. That one's a pumpkin.
Wishing you a lucky Halloween.
And it's literally
Cupid.
It's Cupid.
Yeah.
And there's let me paint this picture again. There's a woman standing in front of the mirror, but the mirror, instead of it being like wood on the outside, it is a pumpkin that has looks like it's been kicked in, basically.
But there's
But there's like a table and stuff underneath of it, and behind this pumpkin is 2 pillars. One pillar has a black cat. The other pillar has an owl. And then there's like,
Oh, I see the apples.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Then there's like behind the apple, in between the pillars, what I can only assume to be what would be like a fence, like a medieval like metal fence type thing. There are apples on top of it. And then Cupid is coming down. He's on top of the pumpkin and he's shooting an arrow down onto the lady.
Yep.
Looking in the mirror.
With the candle. She has the candle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's no man and there's no skeleton behind him.
So maybe she's good.
Behind her.
I don't see anyone behind her. This one says, "May you see your true love's face." She's heading up to do it. To look in the mirror.
Yeah. And there's a jack-o'-lantern on the stairs.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that one's scandalous.
That
It says Happy
classic.
Halloween, and it's these people coming out of a pumpkin's head.
Why is the pumpkin
jack-o'-lantern.
cross-eyed?
The pumpkin is cross-eyed. The jack-o'-lantern is cross-eyed, and there's an owl on the pumpkin and a cat in front of the pumpkin. And you know, like the music box where they come out and they like twirl?
Yeah.
That's what this looks like, but it's a couple making
And the
out.
owl is giving them the stank eye.
And the owl is giving them side-eye like, ooh, you need a
Bombastic
room?
side eye.
The bombastic.
So I thought those were fun. That was like my favorite thing, which is kind of funny because I was like, why would you associate courtship?
With a holy evening. I mean, Hannah, it's a holy evening.
a
Of course,
holy
you're going to want
evening.
your courtship blessed.
Yeah. Oh, look, they're burning the, whatever you call them, the hazelnuts, I guess.
But that's
Why is there a kid there?
I was about to say, that's a married couple with a child. Interesting. Maybe they're doing it for the kid.
Cabbage. The cabbages.
The cabbages.
Yeah.
Gotta love the cabbages.
Yeah. So that was like really weird to me that it was like almost like a Valentine's Day.
It is. It like turned into like almost like, yeah, like a lover's holiday.
Yeah.
Almost. That's weird.
I didn't know that. I thought that was weird. Anyway. So yeah, that's
There's that.
Halloween and like the things that I was able to cover. I know that there's a lot more. I just was very busy this week and
It was a busy week.
yeah. And you all should be celebrating Halloween now because it's Halloween.
Yeah, so happy Halloween,
yeah, happy
everybody. I
Halloween.
forgot this was coming out on Halloween, and that's why we were doing this.
Yeah, so share your Halloween traditions and such because we'd love to hear them since we don't really have any.
Yeah. Also, I would love to add on, and this is kind of a serious topic. Hannah,
Oh, goodness.
we have lost someone this week.
We have
The
lost
week of this
someone.
recording, we have
Yes.
lost someone, and it is very sad. It was one Liam Payne.
Yes.
He was from One Direction. He was 31 years old.
He was 1 year older than me.
Yeah.
That's
He's a
young.
father, a son,
He's
a
father? I
brother.
didn't know he had children.
He had a child.
Child.
I know at least one. But yeah, it's really sad.
It is really
I
sad.
found that news out when I was at Bible study, and I asked my mom, "What are your prayer requests?" And then Hannah texted me, and I looked at it, and I saw a picture of Liam Payne, and I was like, "That's weird. Why would she be texting me about Liam Payne?" And then I was like, and it like crossed my mind, and then I had to check my phone. Literally, like a millisecond after I said, "Mom, what are your prayer requests?" And then I was like, "Oh no!" And then I pulled it out, and I was pretending to listen, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, no!"
No, I know. I'm sorry. I knew you liked One Direction, so I was like, I don't know if she's seen this.
I had not, in fact.
But
seen
like,
it.
yeah.
I texted my brother because we were at his house, and I said, "Jonathan, this is the text I got right after I asked Mom about her prayer request, and I am struggling because now I can't bring it up." And I was almost laughing, not because he's dead, it's very sad, but I was laughing because of the situation. I was
Right.
like, "Oh my
You're
gosh,
like, I'm not supposed
this
to be.
is awful," because we were like kind of just joking around
Yeah.
before that, you know. And I was like,
could've-
I couldn't have waited 2 seconds.
Could have been a prayer request.
I know.
Pray for the family.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Send prayers, good vibes to his family because
Yeah.
it was kind of weird.
It's a weird, yeah.
It was an incident for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty upsetting
It is.
of a situation.
Sorry to make it all serious and
serious.
whatnot, but
It's okay.
anyways, I hope. And
had
on
to
that
mention-
note,
We're gonna
I
just,
could not find the movie that I'm talking about, but I'm gonna text my mom and I'm gonna tell you about it next time.
and
Okay?
we're gonna talk about which movie it was.
And if you like candy corn, write in and let us
Yeah.
know. Let us know if you like candy corn or if you don't like candy corn.
And let us know if you've ever played that game where the apples hang from the ceiling and then you
Yeah.
accidentally steal a kiss. Like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
my brother had to play a game like that once. It was
Ew.
like in 5th grade, and it was like a family fun night type of thing. And they didn't write initials on it or anything, but I think
Oh.
it was zebra cakes or marshmallows
Oh,
or
okay.
something.
Well, that sounds like
and
a
they
good
were
time.
like, I know, and they were like hanging down, like
Right.
and they had to like get up and get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that a zebra cake would be easier to bite. Apples are kind of hard to bite in general.
Apples are hard to bite. That's
They're
why
like- that's why
bobbing
they
for
do it,
apples
yeah.
is so dangerous, because you could like take on water while
Yeah.
you're trying to bite an
Yeah.
apple.
Yeah, it's kind of a stupid thing to do.
It is kind of dumb. Don't go bobbing for
Don't go-
apples.
don't.
We're out of that stage. I feel
I don't
like.
think anyone does it anymore, but like every Halloween thing you watch, like where they're having a party, there's
There's
like
the apple
bobbing for
bobbing.
apples. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because teenagers.
I've definitely done it before. When I was younger, I think we did it.
I was gonna do it, but then my mom wouldn't let me because it was too cold, and she was like, "You're gonna get sick if you try that."
Hypothermia.
Yeah, she was like, "You're gonna get ill.
Fair,
Please
fair,
don't do
fair.
it." But yeah,
Yeah. So tell us your Halloween traditions and have a good Halloween.
and don't forget to follow us so you get all of our most recent episodes. And also, we are available on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, and Audible.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh, you can also reach us on Facebook and Instagram and Lattes on My Mind.
have a spooky,
At Lattes on My Mind.
have a sp-
And lattespodcast@gmail.com.
What?
I want to struggle bus.
Contact us.
Just reach out to us.
It's 8 p.m.
It is. It's almost 9.
Oh my gosh.
Look at us. Party animals.
Oh my gosh.
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a wonderful Halloween. Spooky.
Ooh.